What's up, y'all? NRW, Nerds Rule the World, and my boy Derek Dunn from Reviews and Done. Initial thoughts coming out of The Bride. Derek, what'd you think?
Solid flick. Good cinematography, great acting. A little long, but I think the right crowd's going to enjoy it.
The right crowd's going to enjoy it, and that would be me. It's making, I know we're in March, but it's making my top 10 of the year. I thought it was very artistic, well acted, well shot, very inspiring as a creative. Maggie Gyllenhaal, shout out to her. I think this is her first feature directorial debut. I think she killed it. Again, very creative. Her brother, she got involved in there. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to her husband, Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening. But Jessie Buckley. I wasn't a fan of Hamnet last year, but this is my favorite Jessie Buckley performance. I think she killed it. I think she massacred the role. But me and my boy are going to do a review on it. My man Derek Dunn, shout out to Reviews and Done. Your boy QP, Nerds Rule the World. Look for the full review.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW, where Nerds Rule the World. I'm Heather Hurt. That's QP. And we're about to get a little bit monstrous and a little bit feminist ragey. Let's talk about The Bride.
Can anybody help me? Please. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this. Please. Help. Help. What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, and we brought you back to life.
Get on stage, and I call her by her first name.
What did you want with a dead girl?
I'm the same. Born from the dead. I am a monster.
Yeah, so am I.
This world is a black hole.
The corrupt are going to see life is here and it's coming to you from the monsters.
Yes! Yes!
Everybody dance! Everybody sing! Everybody move!
Please don't hurt me, please. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for? Did you do something wrong? Something you thought you might get away with?
Stop right there!
Screaming my name.
The dead have got something to say. And I'm saying it.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
No, just the bride. Scared?
The Bride has arrived in theaters, and Creepy and we were very lucky. I was not able to see the press screening with him, but I was very lucky to see it following shortly after. The film was written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, based off of characters by Mary Shelley, who, by the way, makes a guest appearance in this film, hosted by Jessie Buckley, who also plays the bride herself. Excuse me. Christian Bale, plays Frankenstein or Frankie. Annette Bening is Dr. Euphronious. Penélope Cruz is Mira Maley, and Peter Sarsgaard. Wow, I'm just getting names all wrong. Is Jake Wiles, and finally, Jake Gyllenhaal is Ronnie Reed, and that is just a piece of the very large puzzle that makes this film. It felt both very large and very small at the same time, very character driven, but it was about characters. It wasn't just about those who were the leads. With that, Koopy, you and I did an initial reaction to this film, and I remember getting a little bit soapboxy, even though I've never stood on a soapbox a day in my life. What were your initial thoughts?
I don't remember my initial thoughts, but if I think about it, I would say that I was excited and curious. Maggie Gyllenhaal is phenomenal. We know that as an actor, but as a director, I don't think I saw the first daughter or whatever her first feature was. But after seeing this, I will be. So I was curious, but everybody involved with it: Christian Bale, Peter Sarsgaard, Penelope Cruz, Jake Gyllenhaal. I was sold, and just the visuals, everything looked on point. I was very curious what I was gonna undertake when I finally saw it. So yeah, I was excited for it for the journey.
With mine, with my review or my initial reaction, it was probably, as I said, I was probably very ready for it. I of course love Frankenstein's monster. I love the original series, and it seemed like this was going to be a very interesting take on the Bride of Frankenstein. So, I mean, I was the exact audience, sort of, but we'll get into that. With that being said, let's get right into the review. QUP, what were your thoughts?
All right, so after a while, I was like, seeing the trailer multiple times after, I think I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of like the Joker Folie à Deux meets Universal Monsters, and I was like, will it be, this or that, and so listen, right now it's March 11th as of this recording. Film of the year right now for me, top film of the year for me, personally. So creative, so bold, so well written, so well acted, so well shot. Everything was on point. I have no notes. The inner feminist in me was, let's go, fucking loving life. It was a reclamation, a claiming of a character. Like the original, it's been a very long time, I'll say that, since I saw the original Bride of Frankenstein. But in concept and theory, Frankenstein creates a monster, chooses a woman, and brings her to life, and now we do whatever. But it's like a very male controlling thing and device, if you will, which they put into this shit. I absolutely love it. And to have I was very shocked and very thankful that Jessie Buckley not only plays the bride, but she plays Mary Shelley narrating this shit. It was pure brilliance. I just loved everything about this film. I could go on for a while, Heather, so I'm gonna kind of stop in spurts because I want to have more of a back and forth with you. But I absolutely love this film. Everything about it was really well done. Jessie Buckley was in Hamnet last year that a lot of critics are raving. She's getting awards because we're still currently in award season. We're getting ready to get to the Oscars. I was bored with, I'll be honest, with Hamnet. She's great. The latter half of the film is much better, especially the ending of Hamnet. But this is my Jessie Buckley film. She is phenomenal. I cannot wait to see more Jessie Buckley and see her perform. She killed this fucking role. Was absolutely brilliant as Mary fucking Shelley and as the bride, and the tics that the bride has. Just the writing was so good, and just what they're talking on, not only with just the bride and Frankenstein, but this other sidebar story that we have with Penelope Cruz and Peter Sarsgaard as these detectives trying to locate these two, and that just the conversations about patriarchy and women and what women have contributed to society, and how women have been walked on, throughout time, and still aren't where they should be, and I try to always give my respects. I have the amazing Heather Hurt here on my team here, who is brilliant. My wife. I have so many amazing women in my life, and I just, I know how the evils of the patriarchy and we as men, and just, I love that this film said, fuck you, this is who I am, and we're fighting back, and we're going for it. I'm gonna stop there, Heather. I could go on. I just loved everything about this film. That is my take coming out of this. It's my top film of the year right now, and hopefully it'll remain in that top 10, top 5, top 3. But right now it's number 1.
Thank you, Cleo Payne. As everyone knows, between the two of us, I am more of the downer. I kind of I kind of look more. I don't know. I don't want to say realistically. I kind of you just have a more grandiose perspective, and you enjoy things better than me. I think I'm pretty sure that's just the best way to put it. You just enjoy it better than me. But no matter how much I want to say that I absolutely did enjoy this movie, and I do absolutely believe, and of course I always give my that perspective at the end. I do absolutely believe this is a movie that needs to be seen and understood and not just ignored. As always, if you are a racist, sexist, or a racist, sexist, or a homophobe, you are a bigot, not a critic. And with that being said, I do not want to bring those elements up into this, because the majority of the people that are talking, the people that have just pulled down that tomato score, is because of the bigots that are out there in the critic spaces. But I also want to be honest with my opinion with this film. Was it perfect? No. Will it potentially be in my top 10? It could be, because the plot, the concept of the film, the through line of the film was very important, was a very good message. And it was honestly it was the Me Too movement through the look of the bride's eye, through the bride's eyes. And that was something that was very, very important. And honestly, what would keep it in my top 10 is this woman right here. And I will get into it in a second, but let's talk about my negatives just to offset the positivity that is Kuyopi. So with that, for one thing, I actually disagree. The script was not perfect. The script, to me, could probably use an edit or two more. There were times where there were long lags that did not need to be long. There were conversations that got really awkward and too condensed. I think that the script could have done with a edit or two more. And I'm actually going to, and I don't want to say that I'm blaming, but I'm going to say that I think that's Maggie Gyllenhaal growing. I want to turn this into a positive. I think this is evidence of her growing and moving forward and wanting to create and do stuff. And you have to start with some I don't want to call it a failure, but just to go along with the metaphor, you have to start with failures to get to your perfections. And I think this is something that was not perfect. I think this could have used one or two more edits. And then, of course, in talking about edits, the timeline for this film, there are scenes in this film that are out of order. And I do not think it was intentionally out of order. I think it was, because I will talk about intentions in a second. I think it was unintentionally out of order. I think the editing was a little bit off, and the flow rate got out of whack. It felt kind of out of whack. And the reason why I say that is unintentional is because even though this is a wacky way of looking at the bride's story, of looking at feminist rage, of creating an easily digestible story about what it's like to be a woman trapped in constantly shifting power dynamic spaces, patriarchal power dynamic spaces, it did not flow correctly. It flowed out of whack to the wacky, as if you could understand what I mean. Did that make sense? Out of whack to the wacky?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it small things? Absolutely. But to me, these were the small steps that kind of took it out of favor as a number one for me compared to Kuyopi. And then my final big gripe, and this is something that specifically has to do with this man. This man is a proud method actor. He is a proud character actor. We have known that he will go through mass eating disorder kind of situations to get into the characters that he wants to be. He lives that life. He lives it on and off set to the point where people are actually afraid of him on set. Just look up the information about him in American Psycho. Just do it. But one of those things where I was actually disappointed in his performance at times. His accent was not constant. He did not keep the same method of how he portrayed Frankenstein. Do I think he was a good pick? Absolutely. Will I hate on Christian Bale? No. My takeaway from his performance in this film is he did not bring what he normally brings to roles to this film. And I don't think it's because of the plot. I just think that And this actually might be something to say towards Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director. If you do not have a constant rate with your actor, that actually leans back on the director. So my complaint about him is that we've seen better from him. That is how I really want to put it, is we've seen better. Do I think that he could have done a better job? I do. I do. Especially when you compare it to this woman. So now I'll switch it back over. And once again, QP said he wants to do some back and forth, but I'm just going to, because he's already talks about her. After this, we'll pause for a second with my review and we'll do some back and forth. Jessie Buckley, yes, she is the main showstopper of this film. It is based in that classic golden age of cinema, so you had to have that gorgeous showstopper. This woman not only stole the whole fucking movie, she might have stolen the whole fucking acting for the year.
Oh, hell yeah.
She was playing, in theory, 4 different characters at any given point. And then there were moments when she was playing dozens more. One of my favorite, and I'm gonna actually put this in because this is so well put. And this is where I'm gonna talk about, this is a true point of intention that I wanted to bring up. One of the reviews that I read from a bigot, not a critic, one of the reviews I read before I went to the theater was, the opening sequence is so cringe that I walked out of I couldn't make it more than 5 minutes. I walked out of the theater and went to buy Scream tickets. 1, you were screwed out of those. 2, the reason that she was cringe at the beginning, unbelievably intentionally. The possession was intentional to allow a woman with no voice to attain and gain a voice. Was it cringe? Abso-fucking-lutely. Was it intentional? Abso-fucking-lutely. And she pulled it off in a way that made you squirm, but made you feel every goddamn fucking thing that she felt. And that stayed constant the entire film. This woman would be the only reason that this film stays in my top 10. Other than that, to me, this felt like an over budgeted indie film. So I'm going to pause there because QP wants to go back and forth. All right, QP, what are your thoughts of my thoughts?
I can't disagree with you to a degree. I recognize those points because some of the other people that were with me, our fellow critics, we were going back and forth, and I was in afterglow land of having great sex. This film was like great sex because to me it was amazing. So right. I was in afterglow. Yeah, I love that you said that because of this woman, Jessie Buckley. Again, the role of roles for me of her work now for me as a fan, and yeah, I think you might have hit the nail on the head. She might have already locked up at best, actor of the year. Even though actors are both male and female, but actress of the year.
Actors, to clarify. Gender is a spectrum. Actors are everybody.
Exactly. But you know what I'm saying? Because, they split up the categories.
But I also want to point out something that you brought up. This was very much in the binary. I know that there are some critics who are concerned about that. This was intentionally in the binary. So when Kuyapi and I are talking in this case, we are talking in binary because it's supposed to be, but it does not dismiss the fact that the feminine is everyone. So just want to tag that in.
Thank you. I like that you said that because that's what I was kind of trying to say with my recognition. You know what I'm saying? That actor is both sides. So well said. No, I can't disagree with you. Some for others, it was long in points. Because I enjoyed the characters, I liked staying in those segments in that world to linger a bit because, again, I was having a good time with this film. But I can see your points. What I wanted to also discuss, I touched a little bit for myself earlier in my comments, but I didn't hear you speak on this a little bit. What did you think of that other sidebar story with Sarsgaard and Penélope Cruz and their back and forth? And seeing kind of like that dichotomy in this world environment and what they both are dealing with, and then how they channel and deal with situations in this world. I thought that was great.
And that was to your point, I think that goes back to the concept of gender. It's one of the things that I don't know if I like or dislike is that Sergeant Wiles, Detective Wiles, you can't tell his sexuality. And I think that was purposeful, because that was a signifier of, it doesn't matter. You are a person of color. You are a woman. You are a person outside of the straight, of the straight and narrow. You are being reduced. You are actively being reduced. There is a rage in that. So I will say, as a tag-in, I really don't know if that was on purpose or not, and I don't know how I feel about that. But I'm going to hope that it is. I'm going to hope that it was on purpose.
Well,
with that being,
I'm sorry.
no, good. What were we gonna say?
What I was gonna say, I love, because when they left from like Chicago and they're making their way up to New York, like, he was very cognizant, Sarsgaard's character, of, because he's the man, that they'll talk to him more, and just, her having to stomach that, you know what I'm saying? For men that aren't cognizant to see that that's what they're doing to women, you know what I'm saying? I'm very cognizant of that shit. You know me, homie. But like, again, and the people that should see this aren't going to see this, but again, putting that forward in film to show you, like, see that right there, that's what I'm fucking talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, to make that known, I just thought that was great that was in there, and played well, and representative of the time, and now, because I'm sure it still fucking happens, we all know that it's still kind of happening, but I like that element was introduced. But then just overall, Mary Shelley, and to go back, as we were saying, Jessie Buckley fucking killed this film, and the amount of roles she had to play, like you said, to both from that standpoint of the writer talking about this character and how she fights, and then we go into the journey and all of that. Fucking brilliance, man. Anyway, I'm back to throwing flowers and sidebarring.
No, you're good. It's to go back to it. Penelope Cruz, I do love her character, and I do love that we have that mirror effect. We have the monster finding her voice, and we have the human finding her voice. We have this mirror effect between two pairs of characters, and I really like that. I really enjoyed that. I really like the honesty between those types of characters, and you also got to see types of relationships where that differentiation happens. You have the love interest, and then you have the friends. How do friends support each other? How do partners support each other in different lights? And how can they support you? And I did love the scene on the train tracks, especially when you consider that's really the first scene with them. It's, yes, you saw them before, but you saw that first scene with them on the train tracks. And then you see the opposing point at the end of the film with Penelope Cruz accepting and finally going, I need to make my statement. This is mine. And so I really enjoyed their side story. Penelope Cruz, for me, has always been kind of in the acting side. She's more of a beauty than she is a phenomenal actor to me. But I also, in so many ways, I also love that she played in this film, because she is this leading lady in this classic film style, who's not the leading lady. This woman is. The monster is the leading lady. So I really liked how they also kind of flipped that. So there's conceptually, going back to what you said, I don't think this is a perfect film, but conceptually, this is a phenomenal film.
Can we talk about Annette Bening, the mad scientist,
right,
and kind of like that storyline, and then working with Frankenstein? I love this ensemble, but just like her story and why Frank sought her out and all of that. And then the infatuation that Frankenstein has with Jake Gyllenhaal and the movies, all of that, and the dance scene. Girl, like I said, this is like right now my film of the year at the moment. I love the choices in this.
Absolutely. And to go to, for those of you who are literature fans, for those of you who are classic movie monster fans, we have the fun possession scene. We have that element where you don't know what is true or not, because in this world, Dr. Euphronious, she plays off Frankenstein as a myth, but then has no problem bringing someone back to, no question. She just does it. And then, of course, when a possession happens, There's no, what happened? She's being possessed. Oh my God. And then, so you have these incredible monster scenes, and you also have these incredible classic movie scenes. Jake Gyllenhaal being the fucking lead of I could go as a classic movie lover. I could go into that shit, but I'm not going to. Not. It was a great casting. I'll say it, even though it's a little bit of nepotism. We know the truth. um, but I love how we had this weird. We had this weird veil where everything is possible, but it's also impossible, which was the mostest true of the golden age of cinema. The most is true. It's where does the fictitious become non-fictitious? And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her, and I will say this: I honestly did not recognize her as Annette Bening when we were first watching. It was just like it was very it was I love how she falls. We're talking about people who fall into roles. I love how Annette Bening just fell into that role. She just fell into it, and it felt very just honest. I enjoyed her in it, especially her closing monologue. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm being more positive. I'm being more positive for the Koofies.
I don't want to provoke you again.
No,
That's what this movie told me again. Love and support our women and listen to our women again. Yeah.
With that being said, I think we need to kind of close this out. It's getting kind of long, guys. I know we're usually pretty much faster than this, but these are the types of stories that Koofi and I love, because we love to talk about stories with messages. We love talking about things that make us better as people, as allies, as people that we strive to be. Because once again, you cannot be an ally. People bestow that name onto you, and the way you receive that name is by learning, by adapting, and by hearing messages. So, with that being said, Koofi, I will give my opinion after you, because I'm pretty sure we all know what yours is. Do you think this film, as we do it, everyone, do you think this film is worth seeing in theaters?
Completely worth it. I hope that more people see it, despite the ugliness of the people out there that are trying to trash it because they're racist, sexist, bigots, all of that. Support this film. Right now, top film of the year for me. Definitely think it and hope it stays all the way to the top 10, top 5, top 3, maybe even still the number 1. But I don't want to say that because I want more films to be really good and challenge me and all that. But yeah, I'm gonna go check out Maggie Gyllenhaal's initial work behind this camera. I think it's called The First Thought or something like that. I'm probably wrong.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to check that out. I'm a fan of what she's doing in this. But I also note what you said and your negative critiques on this, because again, we need to grow as creatives. So, hopefully she'll learn from what she may or not see from this. But I loved this film. I had a great time. I'm dying to see it again. Yeah, recommend it, by 2 thumbs up.
So my opinion as to why you should see this film is a little bit different. I believe, once again, I think this film overall was basically an indie film, an indie art film that had way too big of a budget. And I know this sounds kind of weird, but if it had a smaller budget, if this was more like a B film, I think I would have loved this movie so much more. I know that sounds kind of weird, but with that being said, for the message alone, I think you need to watch this film. For the message alone, you need to watch this film. Do you need to see it in IMAX? No, you do not need to see it in IMAX. Should you see this in a regular cinema? Absolutely. This movie was made for cinema. It was made for the theater by people who love the theater, for people who love the theater. And it was made with a poignant message that needs to be heard. This is what the Me Too movement wanted to be. It wanted to make this point before Rose McGowan decided to just completely throw a bomb right in the middle of it. This is Maggie Gyllenhaal's statement on the Me Too movement and why it was important. And that alone is a reason to buy a ticket. And I do believe some of the proceeds go to, I think it's a family. I can't remember what it is. I had to pay for my ticket. I'm very thankful to our PR reps who helped me buy a ticket, but I did have to buy a ticket, and a portion of my ticket purchase went to, we'll put it in the comments. We'll fix it and put it in the comments. But they went to I think it was a family like a women's shelter family group, which is really, really cool. And that alone is why you should go spend. I'm not telling you to go spend $30 on IMAX theater. I'm telling you to go to the $12 screening. Go to the $12 screening. But if we do believe in accessibility. If you have to wait, definitely 100% watch it once it hits streaming. 150% watch it once it hits streaming. We are going to end this a little bit differently than normal because we're talking spoilers. We are going to talk about that final post-credit scene right here. Kuya.
Okay.
Thoughts on that post-credit scene before we close out?
I'm trying to remember it right now, to be honest with you.
You don't remember the mid-credit scene where all the women are in the bar? Did you not see the post-credit scene?
Holy snikes. You'll have to refresh me.
So there is a scene for those of you out there who have not seen the film yet. There is a scene mid-credit where the women finally take control. They take over the bar and they kill the mobsters. They kill the mobsters.
Yeah. I thought that was during the regular part of the film.
No, it's a mid-credit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no, I love that. Actually, with you talking on that, and you said the women because we've already did spoilers. People start to follow and recognize the bride and are watching, the papers for this stuff, and they start to cosplay as her. I'm ready for the cosplayers, Heather, to actually the people that are now seeing this film, the real life cosplayers, to actually dress up as the bride and have the makeup and all of that. No, I dug that. Yeah, he needed to die. He
Absolutely.
needed to die. So yeah, that was.
I'm
cool.
glad that they literally took back the night. I was really excited to see that ending scene. With that, like, subscribe, share, all of those things that you normally do. And for all of you haters out there, go ahead and make your comments. It helps our algorithm.
It's okay to be wrong.
Thank you. Absolutely. It's absolutely okay to be wrong. I mean, it's really not, because most of you are wrong for the wrong reasons. But with that being said, it still helps our algorithm. Like, subscribe, share, all those things, and we will talk to y'all soon.